What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And this time I'm reviewing the game The Three Stooges, which was originally released on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga by Cinemaware, and it was later ported to other consoles like the NES by Activision and Beam Software, along with the Game Boy Advance and PlayStation 1. And this game is pretty much based off of the Three Stooges comedy act, particularly their television episodes and all that. And the plot is that the Three Stooges has to get some money to save an orphanage before it closed down. And one thing about this game is like pretty faithful to the Three Stooges in terms of the comedy and all that. One example is that just the start screen where when you cut it on with the NES version at least, you will see the Ghostbusters 2 logo along with the Ghostbusters 2 logo. Then you see the Three Stooges and Curly. You hear Curly say, "Hey fellas, we're in the wrong game," and then Mo's response is that you imbecile. You know what I'm saying? This is a no. It's no. The actual line is like, "This is a kid game, you imbecile." You know what I'm saying? And in the other versions, it's pretty similar, but it has different like something else completely different than Ghostbusters. You know what I'm saying? And then the lines are completely different in terms of mode response. You know what I'm saying? So the humor is the humor in the game is pretty consistent with the humor that you'll find in the Three Stooges episode. You know what I'm saying? Now, the game is pretty much it consists of pretty much of different mini games that you will play throughout the course of the game. And like I said, the mini games are based off of episodes of the Three Stooges. You know what I'm saying? You have the help wanted waiters, help wanted doctors, trivia, boxing, cracker, mousetrap, safe banker, question mark, stuff like that. Movie, money sign, and all that. And with the waiters mini game, what you have to do is pretty much throw pies at people's faces. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you control all Three Stooges, and I'll be honest, that sounds it seems simple enough, but it's harder than it looks. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be it'll take you a few tries to actually complete that mini game and have some money. You know what I'm saying? And now then there's the help wanted doctors where you try to collect as many crosses as possible, you know what I'm saying, while avoiding patients and all that, while reaching the operating room, you know what I'm saying. And you have to do all that in 20 within 100 seconds, so that would be take you like a minute or 40 seconds to actually complete that task. You know what I'm saying? Now with the trivia, you pretty much have to answer questions as it pertains to the Three Stooges as a whole, you know what I'm saying, in terms of their careers, personal lives, you know what I'm saying, that is pretty much well known, you know what I'm saying, among the fans of the Three Stooges and stuff, you know what I'm saying. And you have to answer the questions in a multiple choice way, you know what I'm saying. Have to answer A, B, or C, you know what I'm saying. If you get every correct answer, it's $500, you know what I'm saying. If you answer correctly, you'll hear Larry say congratulations, you know what I'm saying. But if you get the answer wrong, you'll pretty much hear most call you an idiot, you know what I'm saying. His response say is you idiot, you know. And, in Cracker, you play as Curly from the skit Dutiful but Dumb, you know what I'm saying, from that particular episode. And the objective is to eat all the crackers before the oysters do, you know what I'm saying? So if you've seen that episode, you know what you're getting, you know the objective, you know what I'm saying? And then, and then, the boxing mini game, you pretty much control Larry from Punch Drunk's episode. You know, you have to go to a store, find the radio, and get back in time to play Pop Goes the Weasel, so Curly can win the boxing match to defeat his opponent. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Safe, Mousetrap, and Banker are not technically mini games, but it's just something that's in there. When you pick one, try to pick one of the mini games, as far as the Mousetrap is concerned, you want to avoid that, because if you actually not necessarily choose it, but if you land on the Mousetrap, the mousetrap will snap on one of their fingers and stuff like that. Now, with the question mark, you pretty much win money. It ranges from like $100 to $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And there's another like little mini game called Point and Finger where you pretty much waste a day in the game. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the one mode where they pretty much the Three Stooges slap each other, you know what I'm saying? And something that the Three Stooges are known for is pretty much the slapstick comedy. So that's what this is really is. You see it pop on one time. It's pretty much a mutton masher, you know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the graphics and stage design, you know what I'm saying? The level design, they're pretty bad, you know what I'm saying? Even though the color palette is kind of decent, but because the graphics are bad, it didn't necessarily age well as time passed, you know what I'm saying? Now, the controls, they're pretty hit and miss, you know what I'm saying? It really does depend on which mini game you're playing, you know what I'm saying? The help warning doctor's mini game is pretty fluid itself. It's pretty fluid, you know what I'm saying? But the other ones, it's pretty hard to control, you know what I'm saying? So, like I say, it's pretty hit and miss, you know what I'm saying? And the soundtrack is pretty bad, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it comes off as annoying, you know what I'm saying? Now, in my opinion, this game could have been a good game overall, you know what I'm saying? But it just honestly fell short, you know what I'm saying? Even though the humor is pretty consistent with the Three Stooges not cartoon show, even though they did have one. But it the even though the humor is pretty consistent with the original Three Stooges episode, it just fell short, you know what I'm saying? It could have been a great game, you know what I'm saying? But it just it's a crappy game with a bunch of mini games based off of the Three Stooges, you know what I'm saying? And just overall, just poorly executed. As far as the score, I definitely give this a 3 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you, with that being said, if you played Three Stooges, you can mention it in the comment section. If there's any other flaws that I missed, you can also mention that. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, if you like this video, don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy, Big Metroid Fan 12, signing off.